Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
What day is it again? Wednesday. It is Wednesday. Today, all of our guests are brought to you, and this includes Farhan standing by the Alberni Power and Marine RPM Group. I told you I'm very tired because of hay fever that's going, allergies that are going around. I've been suffering from allergies since I was a kid. I was so tired going home yesterday, I pulled off to the side of the road and took a nap.
Wow. Was it in a neighborhood or like on a highway?
Well, just to clarify, I didn't get out of my car and take a nap on the highway. I was in my car.
Yeah. We've all pulled over on the highway to take a nap.
I thought it was very responsible. You were making fun of me, Ryan. I thought it was the right thing to do.
Commute home's, 45 minutes for you?
But I had to, age, allergies.
Oh, my God.
If you're that sleepy, do you want to keep driving, Ryan?
Yes.
It's 45 minutes. How do you...
But if you're that sleepy, do you want to keep driving, Ryan?
He did do the responsible thing. I agree, but...
The other thing, too, is I'm up all night preparing for the show.
God. Oh, here we go.
You guys can't relate to that, so that played into the equation as well. Farhan Lalji joins us now from TSN. He's not that far behind me age-wise, so he knows what I'm talking about. Right, Farhan?
Yeah, and I'm clearly well far behind on the preparation scale, given the fact that you're doing all night. But, hey, the power nap is vastly underrated.
Yeah.
So, for me, I don't sleep well at night. And then sometimes I take my son down to Bellevue for a training session. He works out of this place called FSP in Bellevue. So, there are times where in the middle of the day it hits me, and I tell him, and I'm like, look, I'm going to pull over, and I need 5 minutes. And I set an alarm, and I'm literally out for 5 minutes, deep sleep. And when I wake up, it's a different world.
That's exactly what happened to me yesterday. Ryan, you laugh over there. You'll find out. And actually, Farhan is significantly younger than me. I should say that. Hey, your reaction to Daniel and Henrik, two players that you covered for a long, long time, getting inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Well, much like most of Vancouver, I was thrilled to see it because in all my years in the media, which, is not nearly as long as yours, I have not covered two better people than Daniel and Henrik Sedin. And they were exceptional as players, but they were even better as people. And we've had a chance to be around a lot of good people, but you want to see people like that get rewarded, right? So the fact that they got in, I'm not surprised because when you look at the overall body of work, like from an 18-year period from 2000 to 2018, they were 5th and 7th, respectively, in league scoring, on a list that includes Crosby and Malkin and Iginla and Thornton, right? Like, that's the company they keep. All those guys are Hall of Famers. So I was happy that not only they got in, but that they were first ballot guys and that they went in with Luongo. It was very much a Vancouver-esque Hall of Fame announcement.
In contrast to the Sedins, Roberto Luongo gets into the Hockey Hall of Fame. And as reporters dealing with Roberto, it was difficult at times at the beginning, but then everybody warmed up to him. He warmed up to everybody else near the end. Have I got that right, Farhan?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think losing in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final completely changed Roberto's approach in market and with us, because at that point, like, you've been to the mountaintop and there's nothing else that you can endure. Right, and so certainly things were great when he won the gold medal in 2010, but there were some bumps along the road. And then when he got to that moment afterwards, we got to see a guy that took himself a little less serious, a little less diva-like. The Twitter persona with Strombone, all of that kind of came to light at that point. And I think he changed, and I think he became a figure that everybody kind of connected with and really liked. And my contract sucks. Like, he let a lot of his own personality come out a little bit more, and it's a pretty fun guy to be around and to talk to, but we didn't really know that until that point.
Farhan, switch gears here just for a second. Nathan Rourke, the player of the week in the CFL. One thing that I noticed that was interesting last week on your network is that the BC Lions-Argos game was the highest rated game for viewership, even though it was lopsided. People stuck in, and I'm going to guess that's because of Mr. Rourke.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I've always said that as far as the Argos are concerned, there's a lot of Argo fans. There's just no one willing to admit that they're an Argo fan. So, you do get people that watch even if they don't come to the stadium. But yeah, look, I think Nathan Rourke is a legitimate curiosity for a lot of people. We've talked about that on this show, guys, that he's going to be everybody's second favorite quarterback, right? If you're from Regina and you like Cody Fajardo, the other guy you're cheering for is Nathan Rourke. So, it's a great story because he's Canadian, but the league needed a great young quarterback to come into the league, regardless of nationality. They've needed that next wave to be identified, and to see Nathan Rourke be a part of it is cool. And, I love the fact that it's a football story that's resonating with a lot of people that they want to watch, even in a one-sided game, because, there's nothing worse than a one-sided game that also lacks execution. And when you look at what the Lions have done in their two games that have been one-sided, they've operated at such a high level of efficiency and execution that they're fun to watch, even if the game's not close.
Hey, Farhan, the Lions are in Ottawa tomorrow. Set that game up for us. What are you looking at?
Boy, I think the Lions are in tough, to be quite honest. And I say that because you've had one day of practice, one full day of practice plus a walkthrough to get into this game. And that's tough against an Ottawa team that is way better than their 0-2 record indicates. And they're coming off a bye week. So they've had a full week to prepare as far as players and 2 weeks to prepare as far as coaches are concerned. So I think that puts them really far ahead. And you've got, Brian Burnham out of the lineup. Yes, in the second half, BC played well, even without him. But, when I look at this, I just think, look, the Lions aren't going 18-0. There's going to be some bumps in the road here. And those are the tests that I want to see Nathan Rourke overcome. So first road start. Yeah, I know he did get one last year, but, it's his team now. So he gets the road start. Lack of preparation, and he's been so much about preparation. That's allowed him to succeed. He's not going to have as much of it. Better defense, a very well-coached group. I think that they're going to – this could be that first little stub your toe. I don't think they're going to play poorly, but I think that I think Ottawa has also got a little more to show and a little more to give, and I think it'll be a really entertaining game, potentially a high-scoring game that BC winds up in the short end of, and that's not a shot. It's just at some point they're going to lose and deal with some adversity, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Nathan handles it.
Fran, how do you explain the difference, as I go negative here, how do you explain the difference in attendance for the Lions between home games 1 and 2?
I can't explain it to that degree, right? I mean, 14,000 is disappointing. There's no way around that. I've said 34,000 is not sustainable. Yep. You hope that the Lions can get to 23 to 25,000. And I know it was the first time out, where we finally had a great weather weekend and people could make some plans, and the Eastern teams aren't necessarily great draws and all those built-in excuses. But I still thought 20 was a reasonable number for that game. So to see it down at 14 was really disappointing, and it shows you how much work there is to be done.
Go have a nap. Thanks, Farhan. Appreciate it. Yeah, you bet.